Okay, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It is Monday. Here we are again, start of another week.
Yeah, I've already spilt my coffee on the table.
Yeah, that's there. Today, Jesus dies on the cross. A three-part parallel, starting in Matthew chapter 27, starting in verse 45. At noon, darkness fell across the whole land until 3 o'clock. At about 3 o'clock, Jesus called out with a loud voice, Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you abandoned me? Some of the bystanders misunderstood and thought he was calling for the prophet Elijah. One of them ran and filled a sponge with sour wine, holding it up to him on a reed stick so he could drink. But the rest said, wait, let's see whether Elijah comes to save him. Then Jesus shouted out again, and he released his spirit. At that moment, the curtain in the sanctuary of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook, rocks split apart, and tombs opened. The bodies of many godly men and women who had died were raised from the dead. They left the cemetery after Jesus' resurrection. They went into the holy city of Jerusalem and appeared to many people. The Roman officer and the other soldiers at the crucifixion were terrified by the earthquakes and all that had happened. And they said, this man truly was the Son of God. And many women who had come from Galilee with Jesus to care for him were watching from a distance. Among them were Mary Magdalene, Mary, the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of James and John, the sons of Zebedee. Now the commentary. We do not know how this darkness occurred, but it is clear that God caused it. Nature testifies to the gravity of Jesus' death, while Jesus' friends and enemies alike fell silent in the encircling gloom. The darkness on that Friday afternoon was both physical and spiritual. The bystanders misinterpreted Jesus' words and thought he was calling for Elijah, because Elijah had ascended into heaven without dying. It's in 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 11. They thought he would return again to rescue them from great trouble. Malachi chapter 4, verse 5. At their annual Passover meal, each family set an extra place for Elijah in expectation of his return. Christ's death was accompanied by at least 4 miraculous events: darkness, the tearing in two of the curtain in the temple, an earthquake, and dead people rising from their tombs. Jesus' death, therefore, could not have gone unnoticed. Everyone knew something significant had happened. Yeah, imagine that. Just
wow. Yeah.
You just imagine being there, and even if you weren't, I don't know how you could not know that was going on, but even if you didn't know what was going on, just next thing you know, you look over and you see people walking out of they probably weren't buried 6 feet under like they are here. They're probably in a tomb carved out of the rock with a stone in front of it, you know. So.
Well, and the earthquake rolled it away.
Yeah.
And then the earthquake would be enough to rattle everybody,
yeah.
you know, and then the dead people.
The darkness.
But the veil being torn from, that's a very significant symbolic thing to happen.
Yeah.
Because that was what was supposedly separating us from God, and there's nothing separating us from God anymore. Jesus, he fixed that.
Yeah. And there's really no real reason naturally for the curtain to tear into from top to bottom.
There's no reason.
Because it was just hanging, it's been hanging there for this whole time.
Yeah, there's absolutely no reason for it to tear. Even with the earthquake and all this, there's still no reason for it to tear. It was just a miracle.
Yeah.
It was just a symbolic thing from God to tear the curtains. We don't need separation. We've got Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus fixed the separation. We go straight to God. We don't have to do all the other.
Right.
But yeah, that would have been a really wild thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and darkness for 3 hours.
Yeah.
So it had to seem like an eternity to most people.
Yeah.
Because even like the eclipse that was here last year, I mean, we weren't in the darkness part of it, but the people that were in the darkness of it, that was supposed to turn like nighttime, was only in it for like 8 minutes.
Right.
And so
Right.
you imagine for 3 hours, if so, it's really not even a natural phenomenon for it to be dark for 3 full hours.
Right.
So, and to think, well, I mean, it has happened, right? In Egypt, there was darkness for days before Pharaoh relented and then changed to another plague of some
Right.
sort. So, okay, hope everybody has a glorious day, and we'll talk to you later.